become so severe while president that he would do most of his important work in the morning because of the high probability he could literally be incapacitated from noon on. And I just thought, man, we are all fighting battles. We're all doing what we can to make the most of our circumstance, to redirect discomfort into opportunity and pain into progress. And what's most incredible is that we can. There's a saying that it's not supposed to be easy. That getting where you need to go requires the treacherous path associated with a hero's journey, the vast unknowns, the questions that remain unanswered for extended periods of time, the villains that seemingly inject themselves into our lives. Please understand that this is not a reflection of you, who you are and your capabilities. This is the game of life. This is today's difficulty in exchange for tomorrow's meaning. The pressure that creates the diamonds, and you don't have to be sure of anything other than that you know you will continue stepping forward. Because you can. Things won't always go right, but in the failures are the new tools to grow and redirect. You won't always feel on top of the world, but it's in the valleys of despair that we're forced to truly analyze, to think deeply, reapproach. And perhaps most importantly, you may have days where you let yourself down, fall short, perhaps lose sight of the courage to which you have attached your dreams, but that's okay. You are defined not by your mistakes, but by the present moment. Not some impossible expectation of perfection, but by your ability to rise and rise again, when it requires all of you to lift your head up and carry on. So go into that unknown, where fear is transformed into courage and doubt to strength. Go. Because if not here, where? And if not now, when? Go. All you need, you have. And when life finds you sitting down on a park bench, staring out at a world that feels too big and too complex, that seems impossible to navigate, find it within yourself to smile. Smile because of what you've already overcome, what you've been through, who you are. Remember that you are exactly where you need to be, staring up at the meaning in life as opposed to down at your feet. Now go. No miracles here, no mountains need be jumped or oceans crossed, but if you, one, step forward, and two, believe in yourself to put the pieces together as they arrive, there is nothing you can't do or be. There is no obstacle before you that is insurmountable. Just keep going. And sure, sometimes that's all we can do. But it also happens to be true that it is your greatest superpower to simply find a way to run if you can, crawl if you must, but find a way. Because deep down in your soul, the pieces are there. And it will be, at some point, as you look back, the greatest decision you've ever made.
Hello, hello, hello. Wow, what a video. The greatest decision you've ever made. Eddie Perino, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce his name. I'm sure Shane, if you wouldn't mind just chucking in the chat box. What an incredible guy. Like, I listen to those recordings very often in the morning. He brings them out virtually daily, and they are incredible. And just by show of hands, that little compilation that Shane's put together for the 5 days, who would like access to those videos? Because I tell you what, the one I just listened to now in preparation for this day couldn't be better. I mean, he literally started and he said, the things we do, the hard things we do today, we'll be thanked by our future selves. And look at it, we're on Friday. I used the analogy of climbing a mountain in the WhatsApp group and on the Facebook group, where, I remember climbing Kilimanjaro in 2002, and it was hard. It was really, really hard. It took 5 days to get to the top. You didn't worry about getting to the top on day 1 or day 2. All you worried about was getting to each base, each camp, each night. And then I'll never forget on that last day, day 5, it was tougher. It was cold. It was 1 a.m. in the morning. We were scared. I mean, people die up there, a couple of people every year. And our water bottles were frozen, and we set off at night. It was like 1 a.m. in the morning. And, and then one of my best friends, an Australian guy, literally an hour or 2 in, just fell over, and rolled down a hill. And we like, what the hell happened? And he had altitude sickness. And the Sherpa had to go and get him and take him down the hill. And I won't give you the whole story, but the bottom line is our guide, Chifu was his name, Chifu, our guide, said to us, don't worry, we got this. That's why I bought extra Sherpas. I thought he was going to be in trouble. We can make it. And so we continued because we had a goal. Our goal was to get to the top. I mean, you never leave a friend behind, but equally he was safe. He was never going to get there. So we had a goal, and our goal was to get to top of Kili. And 8 hours later, walking at the most ridiculously slow pace, we made it to the top. And I remember it was about 9 a.m. in the morning. The sun was coming up over Africa. It was the most amazing, highest mountain in Africa, most incredible experience. And but just that feeling of setting yourself a goal, a destination, and actually getting there. And it often reminds me a little bit of this challenge. It's 5 days, there's 5 stages, and it's always the last day that's the hardest. But it's when you get that goal, that globally diversified passive income, that truly it lights things up for you. It's like that sun coming up over Africa. It's just the most incredible experience. And one of the things that I've learned, and if nothing else, take this away from this whole week, is that for me, if you set yourself a goal, do whatever it takes to make it a reality. Where there's a will, there's a way. That's why I loved what Eddie was saying right at the end there. You find a way. You just find a way. And that's the difference between musts and shoulds. And, for me personally, it's the people that give up, the dabblers, that literally always have excuses. They blame someone else. They blame the government. They blame their boss. They blame their job, their past, their history, their lack of degrees, their degrees, their husband, their wife, their boyfriend, their girlfriend, their friends, their whatever. But there's a few of us that just find a way. And those people tend to go into 2 different categories, as I've discussed, between the stressor and the master. And hopefully, this week, if nothing else, I've shown you a pathway. Let me be your chifu to show you that there's an easier way. I did the stressing thing. I've been the stressor. I know what it's like. I'm still that. I naturally go back to that. And I have to keep reminding myself, no, there's an easier way. There's an easier way. And so it's with that we move on to day 5 in terms of this process. So let me share my screen. We have an action-packed day today to share with you. And, what is today all about? It's putting it into practice. Now, how are you feeling? It's day 5. Can you believe that we've done an entire week together almost? And I'd love to know, how are you feeling? What's going through your heads? How's everyone doing? I can see that lots of mornings. Yes, please, on the videos. We'll have to try to figure out how to do that. We do stuff on the fly. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes it's just a good idea every now and again in terms of it. So, yeah, let's get going. Day 5, and I assume you can all see me and see the screen and everything in between. Day 5 is about putting into practice. You can read a book for as long as you like. You can watch as many movies as you want. You can go on as many courses as you want. But you're never going to get to the top of Kilimanjaro unless you actually start walking and taking the challenges along the way. I always use the analogy, none of you, not one of you, learn to walk by reading a book or going on a challenge or getting a coach or joining a mastermind, or going on a course, whatever. At the end of the day, you stood up and you started walking. And sometimes you fell down, and hopefully you had a parent or someone to help you and guide you. But the bottom line is you had to stand up. Today's about standing up, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not interested in excuses. I'm interested in results. And the one thing about me, I've got quite a hard energy because I feel very strongly about people living up to their potential and achieving what they want in their lives in terms of what's happening and how it's going. So day 5, putting it into practice, creating a personalized action plan to diversify your investments effectively. Shane, just give me a thumbs up if everything's good from your side in terms of it all working. Just to remind you again, it is the last day. It is Friday. It's Bok Friday, by the way. One of the biggest rugby games of any rugby sports person's life tomorrow. But pay full attention. You know, literally, it's your last day. Commit to yourself. Commit to your future self. Because today I'm going to drop some gems. And today what we're going to do is take the theory into action. Theory into action. Theory into action into results. That's where we're going. I remind you of the resource guide. So what we're going to be sharing today and every other day, and a bunch of people have said, oh, but Scott, I didn't know what the homework was. I couldn't take it down or whatever. It's all in the resource guide. The resource guide is your go-to place in terms of where it is. And if you wouldn't mind just chucking it up in the chat box as well to make it easy for people to click on in terms of the process. Reminding you of the WhatsApp group, we are going to keep it one directional. So going forward, I'd suggest you stay on the group. Don't worry, we will not be sending happy Christmas, messages, but we will be updating you about stuff that we think would be relevant to you. In terms of collaborating, the Facebook group, come to the Facebook group, ask questions, collaborate. This is not about the Scott Pickens show. This is about a group of like-minded people that want to create globally diversified passive income. Come share, ask questions. The only rules are no classified. Don't sell stuff. Don't try and ask for money or any of those things because you'll automatically be removed. But if you're adding value, you're sharing information, you're asking questions, you're engaging, please come and let's really make the Facebook group, something amazing. So if you wouldn't mind, Shane, just also chucking in the links to the WhatsApp group and to the Facebook group to make it easy for people that maybe struggle with QR codes. The prize winner from yesterday, Cheryl. So Cheryl, I love the engagement, and it's not too late to sign up for the VIP upgrade. Just to remind you, if you do, you might say, oh, it's Friday, what's the point? Well, the point is that you've learned a hell of a lot of information, but the most important thing is repetition is the mother of skill. And those that are part of VIP are not only going to get the recordings for the live sessions, but they're also going to get the recordings for the VIP sessions. Plus, they're going to get all the PowerPoints. So they're going to get all the material, basically, in terms of that's what the VIPs are getting in terms of the future. So if you want to come back and watch this 42 times and look at the PowerPoints and listen to the Q&As, it's all going to be put in the Wealth University, and only the VIPs will have access to that. So again, if you wouldn't mind just putting up the link there, Shane, it's never too late to take action. So why are we here? What's the goal? Globally diversified passive income. We do that by diversifying across countries, currencies, assets, partners, and time. Again, how do you break down any goal? Well, globally diversified passive income looks like this big, scary, mountain like Kilimanjaro, but what do? You just break it down into milestones, just like we did, 5 different camps all the way up the mountain. And then ultimately every day you had tasks and activities in terms of this process. Let's go to your action items from last night or yesterday. It was to identify one specific risk in your current investments and outline how diversification can mitigate it. It was to name 3 things which you can do to find the right partners and the right information. It was to consider the Wealth Pathfinder. And just by the way, we had quite an overwhelming demand yesterday, which has caused a little bit of a problem. So Alex and I are scrambling to find solutions because people have literally gone like, wow, this is an absolute no-brainer if I'm wanting to go to the next level. And so we're actually, we're trying to figure that out. So if you do want to put your hand up and get in the queue, I would highly recommend that because we're actually going to go out to our entire community with this offer. Once this challenge was over, we thought we'd give it to the people in the challenge first. So get your peg in the ground. And then finally, share one key takeaway on social media with the hashtag diversification. And again, I've said it 50 times already, but you can have anything you want in life if you help someone else get what they want. Just share your pearls of wisdom with others. Not only is that helping them, but it's actually helping yourself because it's reinforcing it in terms of that process. And then lastly, did you watch the video with Bruce Sanders? All about the American real estate market. As I said to you, he's probably the guy that I trust most in America. Certainly the guy I've done the most deals with. I've done over 100 million worth of commercial real estate with Bruce already. Virtually all of them have been successful. Most of them paid dividends all the way through and actually exited. We had one building where we had a problem, one building in a portfolio. So not even the whole portfolio had a problem, just one building, which is going to happen when you've got 35 buildings in total. Just to remind you, people ask, and again, I'm just repeating quickly what the mastermind's about. In simple terms, a mastermind will help you get there 5 times simpler, safer, and faster. So if you want, if speed is something to you, if someone holding your hand is important, you know, how does it work? Well, when you've got a collection of like-minded people who are committed, driven, and so want to make the right changes happen, and you give them a leader who's willing to get in the trenches, hopefully after 5 days, you figured out that that just might be me. All of a sudden, you start finding real, rapid life or business transformation. There's 5 simple steps. You and I work very clearly to get clear on your outcomes. We work together to figure out your starting point along us and the Calio team, the family office team. Collectively, we build your wealth plan. So we know where you want to be. We know where you're starting and optimizing what you have, and then building a plan to get from A to B as safely and simply and quickly as possible. And then on a monthly basis for 12 months, we have the accountability mindset and execution. So that's where I'm holding you to account. We're working together. We're removing, blockages, and we're helping you get results. And then we got the investment, and that's the learning. We work with Calio every month. We get the best partners in from around the world so that you can learn from them with real opportunities, and we invest. I had someone ask me yesterday, is this another learning course? No, we're not a learning course. We're a doing course. We're a learning by doing. Learning by doing. There's a fundamental difference between learning and learning while doing. So if you want to understand, we've kind of spoken about 3 things over the week. The mastermind is the top of the chain for us. That's our best offering. It's what it's why we partner with Calio. So if you resonated with Niels, if you resonated with Cynthia, you want access to the family office, then and Calio and me personally, etc., then the mastermind is what that is. And again, it's by application only. If you're not sure, apply. What's the worst thing that can happen? You apply, and we end up having a conversation and figuring out the best way forward for you. So, we're quite full already, but we are starting to make a plan and start to take applications for later in November, and possibly, depending on availability, even for the start of next year. I do remind you, no matter what you think about now, this is the most important time. We're literally at the end of October. 2024 is going to be determined. The success of 2024 for you is going to be determined by how you act right now. Because you don't make a great year in the year. You make a great year by planning that year and setting yourself up for success as you go into the next year. I remind you of the analogy that I used. And I love the analogy, for me, is that asking you an extremely direct question. If a doctor came along to you and said, you've got a serious medical condition and you literally have to lose 10 to 15 kilos as quickly as possible, and you had 2 options. The one was to buy a home workout course and kind of hopefully wake up every morning and have the ability to get out of bed and go and do the course, and hopefully lose the weight. Or would you get a trainer? Would you get a personal trainer to come in, show up at your door, 5 a.m., no excuses, rain, sunshine, whatever. You've had a bad night, you slept well, it doesn't matter. They're there, they knock on your door, and they work with you. Which one would you have more confidence that's going to help you get your results? And that's why I use the analogy, just a simple analogy, because it helps us all understand why, according to Harvard, you will have a 400% better chance of winning and getting results if you have a coach. And again, it's common sense. Think of the best teams in the world, the best individuals. Every single one of them has a coach. And my question is, do you? And then, the Pathfinder. This was our birthday special. It's literally Alex's idea. And I just love it. What is a Pathfinder? A person who goes ahead of the group and finds a way to travel through an unknown area. Global investment, diversification, alternative assets, passive income, tax and structuring. Oh my word, it feels so overwhelming. I'll tell you what about having a Chifu, a Pathfinder that can actually help take you on that journey in terms of where you are? And that's why we created the Wealth Pathfinder, to literally help people. I've reminded you literally all week, the golden formula. If you literally take only 2 things away from this entire week, how do you manage risk? How do you get success? You have to have the right information and the right partners. You have to have the right information and the right partners. And that's why we created two things for you. We created Wealth Going Global, which is the right information. And we created Asset Mastery, which is the right partners. It's literally that simple. And so just to remind you what you get with the Pathfinder, you literally get a coach, someone to hold your hand, to be accountable to, literally over the next 4 months, 8 different sessions, personal one-to-one coaching, and they're going to hold you accountable. Again, any of us, all of us have bought a digital course before, or even paid for bought a book or paid to go on a course, and we don't show up. The difference, think of that gym coach turning up at 5 a.m. every morning, holding you to account, taking you through the courses, and by next February, you've got significant momentum into 2024. Wealth Going Global, it's all about the information. You've literally got 6 modules, how to find the 5 top countries to invest, the 5 top currencies with James Painter, the 15 top assets to be able to invest in, how to find the right partners and all our due diligence systems so that you can understand it, how to build a plan over time, a wealth plan, and literally have a digital way to do it. And then finally, using technology to bring it all together. It's the most comprehensive program we've ever built to help people get the right information. Asset class mastery, literally learn from the best partners around the world in every asset class. They're going to come and they're going to teach you about the asset. They're going to teach you about what you need to know, what's happening in the sector, what are the opportunities, what are the risks, and then what are actual deals so that you really learn while doing in that process. Then, what's the point of getting all the theory if you don't actually take action? And so the Wealth Starter Pack, it literally gets you onboarded, $100 into your wallet so that you can literally start investing. You get priority, access, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The Wealth Migrate platform, I think it's priceless personally in terms of value. You get access to the deals, the information, the partners, but live deals going forward. And then for those fast action bonuses, again, an ethical bribe to get people to do something is that everyone wants to be able to ask questions. I'm going to hold a session once a month, a live session where you can ask me anything you want. And then finally, Clem Sunter, one of the most incredible men I've ever met, recently interviewed him on where the global scenarios are going, what's happening in the world. If he's South African, he's also got a piece on where South Africa's going. And it's absolutely phenomenal. He's an incredible man. And we'll chuck that in. If you look at the total value of all of it, it's over $9,000. I'm not here to give you a sales pitch today. It's literally our birthday. It's our birthday, ladies and gentlemen. October is our birthday month. So we're celebrating, we're having fun. And that's why we've made it literally a no-brainer for people. $697, spaced out over 4 months. It's completely affordable. It's literally the best we can offer other than the mastermind at the most affordable rate that we can do it at in terms of that process. Obviously, there's quite a few costs involved, paying coaches and everything in between in the process. It does expire at the end of October. At that time, it'll go back to the full price. And we can only offer it for 20 people. We've got constraints around coaches, et cetera, et cetera. So if you are interested, go along and literally go to that link, Pathfinder, get your peg in the ground in terms of where we're at. And then, finally, in terms of what our clients are saying, again, I tend to go as far as to say, well, don't trust us. Go and ask other people. Go and ask real people with real stories. And Shane, if you wouldn't mind chucking up the testimonials as well. The testimonial page. People can just go and read it, or if you want to go to Trustpilot, if you don't trust us, go to Trustpilot and go and check it all out. And you can see all the different testimonials of what people have experienced. So let's get going with day 5. Again, a disclaimer, no one today is giving you financial advice. What we are giving you is our best experiences, our biggest mistakes, our biggest learnings, and most importantly, trying to be your guide through this mythical, mysterious, difficult land of international investment and global diversification, and most importantly, how to build a passive income. So just like yesterday, we're going to time now. It's the time to literally turn it into action. Okay. However, I want to remind you, just like yesterday, that there's a lot of substance that I don't have time today to go into. So if you look at module 5 as part of Wealth Going Global, there's an entire digital format. And I'm going to show you a little bit later how this works. But I'm going to run over the top of it today so that you understand it. You've got the value. You can walk away with an action plan, reminding you that the plan by the end of today is that you've got this form filled in, your investor strategy sheet in terms of where we're at. So we'll give you the tools to do that. But if you want to go deeper and do it properly, then I just want to let you know that we built the iceberg exists. We're going to show you the top of the iceberg today, but the rest of the iceberg, the substance, is below that in terms of where we're at. So what is the module we're doing today? It's about time. Timing is everything. Portfolio construction accounts for 85% of your total returns. What is the mission? We'll help investors design their wealth plan. Call it whatever you like. I know that Anthony called it a ALM or something, some fancy financial word. Guys, it's just a plan. You know, when I wanted to climb Kilimanjaro, you could call it whatever you like. We had to have a plan to get from the bottom to the top. It's a plan. And so for us, we call it simple. we love simplicity, by the way. So, you know, for me, simplicity is power. And, you know, it's just a plan. It's called a wealth plan. So some people ask me about timing. I got asked about this in the VIP session. So I literally wanted to just go to this quickly. And what you'll see here is that you've got the timing of the different asset classes. So, you know, some of them are, 12 months, 1 year, some of them are 3 to 5 years, some of them are 8 years plus. And I've taken the top 15 assets and I've just made it easy for you to understand. So multifamily, 3 to 5 years, industrial, sometimes you have debt for 12 months, 3 to 5 years, MOB, medical office, generally 5 years, office, generally 5 years, co-living, 5 years, and, you can do a new development where they've got to build, greenfield, which can be longer. London, large scale, 5 years. First mortgage debt tends to be 12 months, like the Manhattan deal. Retail is 5 years. Senior living aged care, again, we've had both from debt at 12 months to equity at 3 to 5 years. ETFs, 12 months, 3 to 5 years. Structured notes, 12 months, 3 to 5 years. Gold, silver, I don't know, it effectively could be all three. Private equity tends to be more than 8 years. Venture capital, they say 3 to 5, but personally, I think it's more on the 8 year side. I think crypto, people argue all of them. So there your timeframes are. Again, the VIPs will get all the slides so they can get access. So let's go to building a wealth plan. Now, we run a workshop for people called IRM, which is the Investor Roadshow. What do we call it? Investor Roadmap Workshop, IRW, Investor Roadmap Workshop. And it literally helps you go from A to B. Okay, so down the bottom here, we've got the 6 needs of every investor. Then we've got the wealth plan. Then we've got the investment categories, partners and due diligence, managing risk and compliance, setting up your investment platform. We use Wealth Migrate, how the platform works, investing and earning. Literally takes you from A to B. So this we've been teaching for the last 5 days about the theory. This is actually a practical course on how to use Wealth Migrate and how to actually invest. Just by a show of hands, who would be interested if I was to run an IRW live before the end of the year, like do one in November with all these deals we've got? Yeah. So just put in there IRW, or because then I'll just know whether it's worth it. I don't have one scheduled, but actually I was thinking about it last night and I was like, wow, I haven't done one for a while. I should probably do one of these so that people know how the platform works, how due diligence works, how the deals are, how to use the platform. Okay, cool. So I can see a bunch of people would be interested. Cool. Okay, I'll make a plan with Shane. So we're gonna focus on the why part at the moment, which is all about the IRW. And what you're gonna do is we've got a freedom calculator and we've got a wealth plan. Now, by the way, as a gift to you, because it's Friday, because it's our birthday, we're gonna give you these resources. Whether you're part of VIP or just joined the free challenge, we're gonna give it to you anyway. So this is the part where you go, it's amazing. Anyway, so, I mean, these are stuff that it's taken us, 20 plus years to build out. And again, it looks so simple. It's like 2 pages. It's like, yes, that's the problem, in my opinion, with the financial industry. They make it 42 pages and you've got to have a PhD in economics to understand what to do. For me, keep it simple. Even if it's only 90, 95% accurate, doesn't matter. When I walked up Kilimanjaro, I guarantee you, I didn't go exactly the right route. I probably walked off a little bit and I took a picture here and I went there and, but at the end of the day, the guide kept taking me to the top. Keep it simple, ladies and gentlemen. Simplicity is power in terms of what is happening. So we're going to go to the freedom calculator, which is in the resources. And just to show you how that works. So I'm going to go quickly to the resources page. So here I am in the resources page for day 5. You can see literally the wealth plan certificate. So what you do is you literally go here, you copy it, and you open it up. And can you believe it? I have a wealth plan. And there it is, PDF. Now, the nice thing is you can go and fill it in. Okay, you can print it out if you're old school like me, or you can literally go and type on top of it to make sure you save it. How cool is this? Like, does this get you exciting? Oh, it gets me flipping exciting. I'm sorry, like my partner Shane's just so incredible that you've literally got all this. Okay, you want an example of a certificate? Just in case, you know, because again, when I went to university, and again, I without being arrogant, oh, have you lost me? No. You know, cum laude at both my degrees. I cum laude at both my dissertations. But how did I do it? Like, because I'm not that smart. Like, all I did was I went into the library and I said to the librarian, right, give me the dissertation from someone that literally cum laude last year. And then I took what they did, and I didn't copy the content because I did my complete own dissertation, but I copied the way they did it. It's so much easier. Like, again, modeling and mastery. Like, why try and figure it all out yourself? I promise you, no matter what problem you're trying to solve in the world, someone's already done it. So, you know, there's my personal plan. You can go read it all. It's all there in terms of what I want, how I want it, when I want it, in terms of it. So you can literally go and copy. Okay. And then finally, the freedom calculator. Again, you literally click on it. And if you don't know how to use Google, I'm giving you a quick lesson here. So what it's going to do is it brings up a document. Okay, and you literally make a copy of that document, because obviously we want each of you to have your own personal document. So you literally go make a copy. And what is it doing now? Shane, help me. Would you like, oh, there we are. Sorry, I was having a panic attack there. So there's your calculator, and it's an interactive calculator. This was built by a good friend of ours and a mastermind participant of ours called Diana. So I built the calculators on Excel, and I knew how to work them myself, but the problem is they weren't easy and intuitive for people to use. And so like she went and built this calculator. And the beauty is now is you can have it in any currency. So, you know, I know we've got people from all over the world. So if you know, British, you just go and put in, you know, whatever currency you want, and you can literally compare the US dollar to whatever currency you want in the world. And it's automatic. It links straight in with the, you know, with the internet. So the exchange rates are all updated, etc. I'm going to come back to this calculator, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit later about how to use it. But just by the way, like I'm sorry, but like, isn't this quite cool? Like literally, there the tools are cool. Pay me $1 million, I'll give you tools. Oh no, wait, let me give them to you for free. So yeah, you've got no excuses now, ladies and gentlemen, no excuses. So let's take a step back. Before I get into teaching you how to do that, I'm just looking for my book. Where's it gone now? So this guy, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, if you haven't read the book, probably highly recommend it. And, you know, I've always wanted to go out and you know, I love property, and I've always loved business and whatever. Anyway, my mother gave this to me on my birthday in 2001. I'd literally been trying to be an entrepreneur since I was 13. I did my first property project when I was 13 years old, believe it or not. And my mom said to me, we hope you make your fortune, but more importantly, we hope you have good health, many friends, and lots of happiness. Love, Mom and Dad. So I've been on this journey for, well, nearly 3 decades now. And I want to share with you just a quick gift in terms of what this was. Sorry, I don't know why that made me emotional. Anyway, you've got the cash flow quadrant, the E, the B, the S, and the I. Now, I'm sure you've heard about it, but just in case you haven't, I'm going to run through it very quickly. You got the employee in the top left. You got the self-employed in the bottom left. You got the business owner in the top right, and you got the investor in the bottom right. So the top left is about the employee. It's all about active income. So you have to work. You have to be on that treadmill, working every day to make money. It's hard work, no security, no time. Then you got the self-employed. They're like, cool, I'm a doctor. I work for myself. I'm an anesthetist. I work for myself. I'm a farmer. I work for myself. I'm an accountant. I work for myself. But actually, they've got large debts, insufficient funds, and a lot of stress. Because actually, you just own your own job. And it's probably more stressful, actually, because you can't rely on your boss to pay your salary. By the way, that's 95% of people on the planet, and they own less than 5% of the wealth. And then on the other side, you've got passive income. And this is where, you know, it's the business owners. It's all about a system, and it's about people and teams. And, you know, look, I'm a business owner, and the top right there is easy work, stability, and spare time. I'm not quite sure about that. I've been an entrepreneur and business owner for 20 years. And yeah, well, let me rephrase that. I haven't figured that out yet properly. But anyway, that's what it's supposed to be. But ultimately, it's about passive income. And then it's the investor. And they've got no debts, they've got plenty of money, and they've got freedom. And on this side of the quadrant, It's, less than 5% of people on the planet, and it's 95% of the world. So the question we should all be asking ourselves is how? How do we get to the I? Whether you love your job, whether you love your passion, whether you love your purpose, no matter what you want to do with your vocation in the world, at the end of the day, you want your money to work for you. And as Warren Buffett says, if you don't figure out a way to make your money work while you're sleeping, you're going to work for the rest of your life. If you don't figure out a way to make money while you're sleeping, you're going to work for the rest of your life. And so myth number one for me was that I had to do it all myself. I told you already. I went out and I read this book, Real Estate Riches, and I thought that Dolph DeRuis was an incredible guy. I still do. I think his book is amazing. But his book was, go find 100 houses, make an offer on 10, get accepted for 3, buy 1. I bought up a portfolio of 16 properties. I was like, whoa, I'm such a hero. I own 16 residential properties. Then I went and looked at it. I was like, bloody hell. Actually not getting any returns. I got a shitload of hassle. This is a bloody nightmare to run. And then in 2014, I started partnering and working with people in the commercial space, and I got far higher returns with no hassle. So I was doing it all on my own with a shitload of hassle, complexity, and frustration, and not earning a good return. And then I started partnering with people, and I started getting like far better returns with no hassle and a lot less risk. And I was like, this is a no-brainer. And again, I put in the time. I mean, this is me. I told you, $8,000 I spent for 1 week with Dolph DeRuis to be in Phoenix and to travel America. I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt, for paying for myself, trying to do it all myself. But trust me, I learned the hard way that you can try to do it all on yourself, or you can partner. And it's so much simpler on the partnering side. So, I love this saying by Leonardo da Vinci: simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. When you look at the Wealth Migrate platform, or even you look at some of the models that we've given you, they're super complex things. But what we've done over 28 years with an incredible team of people is just try and simplify. How can we make it simpler and safer, simpler and safer, simpler and safer? And that's always my objective. If you look at the mastermind, it takes a super complex process and breaks it down into 5 steps. Because I believe anyone can do 5 steps. So let's look at the why. Okay, so when you look at your wealth plan, Simon Sinek has an incredible TED talk, which you haven't watched. I highly recommend you watch. If you have watched it, I highly recommend you watch it again. Maybe we'll chuck it in the resources as well. And the point is, it all starts with why. Most people want to know about the how and the what. You've come to this challenge. You're like, how do I do this? What do I do? How do I make money? What do I do? How do I make money? What do I do? But if you don't get clear on your why, you're never, ever going to get there in terms of what's happening. So let's be clear on some of the whys. People want to protect their wealth. You worked hard for your money and you want to protect it. You want a plan B. You don't want to be caught up in one country or one currency or one asset class. You don't want all your eggs in one basket. You want to have peace of mind. Whether it's the Israeli conflict or the Ukraine conflict, or, interest rates rising, or the Fed about to fall apart, or whatever it is, you want to have the peace of mind to know that you're not geographically stuck in any one country, any one currency, or any one asset class, or with any one partner, by the way. You could have had all your money with Lehman Brothers and it went out of business. Like, there's no partner that is bulletproof. So ultimately, it's about freedom of choice. Where do you want to live in the world? And I want to tell you a quick story. I've got to be careful of time here. I want to tell you a quick story about what I mean by freedom. So last year, my uncle, I started on Monday with a story about my uncle. So last year, my uncle, basically his brother-in-law, so my uncle now lives in Brisbane, Australia, and his brother-in-law got sick. Now, he lives in East London in South Africa, and he didn't have medical aid, so he would have had to go to a government hospital. My brother is an anaesthetist, a specialist. And so my uncle got hold of my brother and he said, hey, what do you think? And my brother said, look, if he goes to a hospital in Eastern Cape, there's a good chance he's going to die. So my uncle said, okay, well, that's not going to happen. So he flew out from Australia with his wife. They took time off. He doesn't have a boss, so he could take as much time off as he wants. So he got on an airplane. They flew to East London. They picked up the brother-in-law. They drove from East London down to Cape Town, which is about 1,500 kilometers, 1,000 miles. And they basically came for a trip that they didn't know how long the trip was going to be. They got to Cape Town, where the best specialists are, and my brother arranged to meet the top specialist for whatever medical problem this person had. And the specialist said, well, you need to do this, this, and this, and I need to operate immediately, and. But I can't help you because he doesn't have medical aid, and we can't cover the costs. And my uncle said, don't worry, we're good for it. And the guy was like, no, but you don't understand. Like he might go into ICU for 6 weeks. Like, the bill could be endless. Like you literally, this could bankrupt you. My uncle said, don't worry, I'm good for it. So you had to sign a form, obviously. The operation went ahead. The good news is the brother-in-law is completely fine. And, they spent a month in South Africa and the brother-in-law's fine. They took him back to East London. And that's the rest of the story. Why I love that story. My uncle is no pomp and grace. He lives in a very normal house. He drives a Toyota. You would never know that my uncle has access to money. And yet he has the freedom of choice. He had the freedom to decide, hey, I don't have to ask my boss. I don't have to apply for holiday. I'm just going to fly out there. I'm going to go with my wife and we're going to go for as long as we need to. I'm going to rent a house. I'm going to rent a car. I'll do whatever I need. I'll take the brother-in-law all the way to Cape Town. I'll put a specialist. I'll sign an open check. An open check. I don't know how much it's going to cost, but there it is, an open check. My brother-in-law's life is more important. That's freedom, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I talk about when I talk about freedom. It's not about the helicopter or the fast car. It's about the freedom of choice to make the decisions you want in your life. So when I talk about my wealth plan, and you can go and read it if you want, I'll read it to you quickly. I want to have the freedom to live where I want to live, how I want, how I earn my income, where my son goes to school, university, where I go on holiday, basically live a life unlimited. I want to be able to provide for those who I care about, like my uncle did, without constraint. Sorry, I don't know why that story makes me so emotional. I want to have all the freedom to choose what I want to do with my time and with whom I want to spend my time with. I want to be able to contribute in a meaningful way and have a significant, purposeful impact on the planet. I want to inspire people to achieve the impossible. I want to be a dream provider. I want to be able to leave a legacy and create generational wealth for my family, those who are important to me, and be a dream provider in general. So that's me. Now you know my DNA. And when you look at your wealth plan, it's quite simple. We, again, have broken it up. We've literally used the science of success. If you watch Simon Sinek's video, you'll know that the greatest people in the world, whether it's Martin Luther King or Apple, use this formula. They get clear on their why first. What is the why? Then the how, and then the what. That's the formula. So let me just tell you a little bit about the why and why we're here. Again, I told you on day one, I was 13 years old when I did my first property project. And I watched my father do everything we were taught to do. Go to school, work hard, go to university, get a good job, pay the taxes, invest. And yet he died broke at 59. And I was like, that's just ridiculous. I'm not doing that. So I went on my own and I had two loves. I loved computers. I started programming when I was 6 on a Commodore 64. And I loved Monopoly. And my whole life, all I've done, I'm a one-trick pony. I'm very boring. All I've ever tried to do is marry together property and technology. My logic was, why can't we play Monopoly in real life? But I also come from a country where there's a massive difference between the haves and the have-nots. And, the richest 1% own more than 50% of the world's wealth. And it's getting worse and worse every year. And people say, well, is it because they get paid more? Nope. Is it because they've got better friends? Nope. Is it because they have more time? Nope. Is it because they went to better universities? Nope. It's because they invest in better assets. That's it. It's as simple as that. They invest in better assets than the 99%. And so we literally said, wherever you are in the world, it impacts your wealth dramatically. If you're a male or a female, it dramatically impacts your wealth. If you're a millennial, it dramatically impacts your wealth. And when you look at it statistically, 49% of the world's wealth is held in property, and yet only 12.9% of the world's population has access to property. And of that 12.9%, only 1% invests in commercial property. And so we said, that's ridiculous. Why don't we change it? Why don't we allow everybody to invest like the top 1% using technology? And we've tried to build every business that I've been part of so far on Zig Ziglar's principle. You can have anything you want in life if you help enough other people get what they want. You can have anything you want in life if you help enough other people get what they want. And so our vision is to make real estate investing as simple as a swipe of a finger and from as little as $1. Now, we're not quite there. Our minimum investments, our lowest we got it to is $10. And whether it's $1 or $10, I don't think it'll change your life. But if I can change your habits, we can change your life. So that's my why. Now, let's go to the resources, and I've already shared them with you. You've got the Freedom Calculator, and you've got the Wealth Plan Certificate. If you were to buy the Wealth Going Global course, you will also have the entire online. So we've given you the manual calculator, we've given you the manual certificate. But if you do the course, I'll show you just now, we've got it all digitally online for you. So there's 4 steps in the wealth formula. The first one is the goal. So what are you wanting to achieve? What is the passive income that you're wanting to achieve? how much do you need to survive every month, and not just survive, but to live a nice, comfortable life? So you need to figure out what you want in cash flow. Now, again, I don't actually care what your balance sheet is. I don't care how much you think you have in shares that are worth, X, but actually don't pay any income. You live on income. Income is it's like air. If you don't have cash flow, you die. So step one is you got to get clear on what the number is that you want. Step two is you work on the formula. So you then must figure out how much capital you need based on an average cash on cash return. I'm going to take you through how to do this quickly now. Step three is the plan. Then you need to figure out how much you invest per month for how long to achieve your goal. And finally, step four. Just before I go to step four, myth three. Myth three is a great myth. People think, I'm going to keep all my money. And I tell you, I'm going to bet on the next Uber. I'm going to get it right. I tell you, you watch, I'm going to get the next Uber or the next Facebook. It's rubbish, ladies and gentlemen. From my experience, there's nothing more powerful than consistency. Just consistently. Rather than put $100,000 once off, rather commit to $1,000 a month. Because long term, you're just going to invest in good quality assets consistently, and you'll be away to the races, achieving the life that you want. And then finally, the results. Stick to the formula, measure, track, and keep going. Simple. 4 steps. Sounds super complicated, hey? You got to go to like Harvard to get an MBA in how to do this. No, rubbish. It's easy. So let's go to use some of the resources quickly. So if I go here and let's just say I want to earn, I'm going to do everything in dollars, because you can change it to whatever currency you like, and you can convert whatever you want here. So I'm just going to do dollars to rands just to show people. But in simple terms, I want $5,000 a month. I'm just using a number, okay? So that's the number that I want, per month to, live a comfortable life. That means I need $60,000 a year. Now, the target cash on cash return is 8%. You can make it 50 if you want, but I would highly recommend that you don't make it more than 8, because you're being unrealistic in good quality assets. So just by the way, I was talking to someone yesterday, and I apologize because I'm sure she's online. There's other people out there that'll get you 5% a week, 5% a month, whatever. It's rubbish, ladies and gentlemen. It's rubbish. I've yet to see one of them work. I've been doing this 28 years. I'm sure they work short term. I'm sure there's a couple of little things here and there. But, honestly, I ride mountain bikes with people. And just last year, guys were putting money into cryptocurrency trading or something, and they were getting 10% a month. And I was like, yes, I'm so boring. I'm sorry, I'm boring. I just get 8% a year from commercial property in America. I'm so boring. I apologize. And they're like, yeah, you're boring. We get 10% a month. And then the other guys were doing day trading in shares, and they were getting like 20% a month or something. I was like, wow, like that's incredible. Yep, no, I'm just boring. I get my 8% a month. 8% a year. Anyway, they're like, we don't talk to you. You're boring. I'm like, cool, I'm boring. Anyway, end of the year, we had that Ponzi scheme in crypto. I've forgotten the name now, but where the guy ran off to Argentina with billions of dollars. And then it turns out that the day trading thing was a Ponzi scheme as well. So they all lost everything. I'm just boring. I still get my 8%. Means you need, so again, the calculator works it out for you automatically. You need 750 because you've got tax here, so it takes into account tax. So let's say I got starting capital of, I don't know, I own a house and I've got $25,000 of equity in my house. And I commit to $200 a month. I can invest $200 a month. And as you get older in life, you should be putting in more money. So I'm going to try and put in 10% extra per year. So I'm committing to $200 a month and 10% extra. Now, I want to do it in 7 years, okay? Now, the problem is the calculator is telling me it's red. I'm like, oh, hang on, like I'm not doing very well, basically. So I'm going to go to 20 years now. Oh, okay, I'm still not there after 20 years. Okay, well, something's going to have to change. So I'm going to have to invest more money. Oh, there we are. $300, $100 difference. One night out at a restaurant per month. And boom, I'm in green. And you know what's cool? I can now go, okay, well, that was 20 years. Let's go 19 years. Oh, nope, it's 20 years. That's my plan. So my current year is 2023. I am free at 43. I'm currently personally 46 years old. I'm free at 66. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. What you do is you literally then just go to your plan. You put in you've written in your whys. You literally put in your passive income goal. You put in your percentage. You put in the amount per month. You put in the target return. Oh, sorry, I missed that one. Anyway, it's there, 15. Again, I wouldn't change that. 15 is it's a good number. It's not too high, not too low. I think it's a fair number. You know, the amount of years, the year, the age, your date, your name, your signature. My suggestion is print this out and get a witness. You know, accountability partner. So what do you think? That's it. That's it. You've learned everything. You can go now. So let's just go here because some people get overwhelmed. And just by the way, we actually built this for our mastermind people because I realized that with the training, they needed more substance. So we built this course. That's why the mastermind always helps us make it easy. So sorry, the mastermind helps me realize where the gaps are. So we went in with my brilliant partner Shane. We went and built this. Let me just sign in here quickly. I see it's not signed me in. And by the way, because it's a Google sheet, you can't break it. So just play with it. It's yours. Do whatever you want. So I'm going into Wealth Going Global. This is the course. I go into the course. And I literally go now through. So I've got the power of clarity. So that's all about your why. It's getting very clear on your why. Then it's about the countries. So let's just go to the countries. And I'll just give you an example. I won't do it for all of them. But ultimately, you go in. You've got the lesson. And then you've got the materials. All the materials there, really easy. You can go and get absolutely everything. Now you've got to choose your top 5 countries. So now you've got the lesson. Now, don't take my countries. Like, you've got all the countries there. And you can go and literally choose the countries. Okay? Like, and then you go to your currencies. Sorry, that's currencies. Where was countries? There's countries. These are mine. Like, so at the end of it, you go and choose the countries. And I've chosen, you know, with the learning, the residential, the commercial, and the alternative. So I now know. I'm not guessing anymore. I've got the currencies. I've got the assets, the top 15 assets. I've then got the partners. Like literally, and I remind you with the partners, someone said, I want to know all your due diligence. Cool. It's here. Go read it all. It's all there. Then you got smart investing, which is bringing it all together with technology in terms of, and then the cool thing is, and this is where like, I just think Shane's incredible. So now we go to your wealth plan, and I've just shown you how to do it, you know, manually. But if you do Wealth Going Global, you literally have your own system. It builds it all for you. There, look, it built it for me. There's my why, there's my how, there's my what, all built digitally after doing the course. So it's obviously based on working through the 5 modules. And then my investor strategy sheet, again, there it is, and it's all built for me. Where's it coming? There it comes, my investor strategy sheet. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Wealth Going Global is how you can do it digitally if you want to. And, you know, for me personally, I just want to acknowledge Shane, because he's taken, you know, a lot of the stuff sits in my head or it's on spreadsheets, and, you know, people always laugh at me, but like, it's all over the place. I'm not very good at systems. If you know Roger Hamilton, I'm a creator. And Shane is an incredible guy because he's taken it all and built a course. And you can literally go and do it in your own time. You can walk away with your own wealth plan. You know, we literally taught you, obviously, you know, in more time to do it. So if it felt a bit overwhelming, I know Sharon said, never seen it made so easy, brilliant. Look, to be honest, we've all been to school. How often did you hear your teacher at school go, oh, all you got to do is do this, 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 and this. And you're like, oh, cool, I got that. And you go home and you're doing your homework. Like, what the hell were they talking about? So there's always value in having a resource to go back and to ask questions and to rewatch and everything in between. So yeah, if you want Wealth Going Global, it's literally, again, we've got a birthday promotion for it. You can just buy that individualistic if you want. It's obviously more affordable than everything else. And you can literally go and you can get started there. You know, literally just say, right, 6 modules. It'll take me 6 days or 6 weeks, whatever you choose. but it's there. You'll literally get all the information that you need, plus you'll walk away with your game plan in terms of it. So yeah, let me know if anyone has any questions with regards to that. So the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting the different results. How many of you are like me? Okay, I'm sure I'm the only one in the room, so I appreciate that. But how many of you are like me? And every year you're like, next year is going to be different, but then I don't do anything different. I'm like, next year I'm going to lose 10 kilos, but then I still eat and do the same exercise. It's like, damn it, why didn't I lose 10 kilos? It's like, you idiot, you have to do something different. So my question to you is, what are you going to do differently? You know, what are you going to do differently for next year to make it spectacular? I got asked a question yesterday in the VIP, and they said to me, Scott, like, you know, I go on all these courses. I love personal development. I'm, you know, their words, but I'd probably be one as well. A course junkie. I love doing courses. You know, why will this be different? I said, because you're actually going to get results. There's no point in bloody learning about property. It's about investing in property. And literally, just to be clear, the 3 deals that Selwyn shared with you yesterday are going live this month. Okay. Literally, like, sorry, the month coming up, November. Like this deal in Manhattan, New York, you can invest in Manhattan, New York. You can earn a 12% return in dollars, okay, in Manhattan, New York, and it closes at the end of November. So if you phone me up in February and say, hey, Scott, but I did the course and I still got no results, I'm like, well, you're a fool because I gave you an opportunity to participate. Secondly, the property in Germany, you know, literally it's closing at the end of December, okay? It's not whether, I'm not rushing. I'm telling you when the deal's closing. You get a 6.5% return in euro and a total return of, I think it's 15%. I'm still waiting for the full financial numbers. So again, now you say to me, Scott, but I don't know how to diversify. Well, I'm telling you, one opportunity in Manhattan, one opportunity in Germany, in euros. And then, oh yeah, but I still don't know how to diversify. Well, there's a private equity opportunity in Austin, okay, at a 10% return. So boom. You could start with $100 if you want to, and you could put 30, 30, 40, you know, into 3 deals, and boom, by February next year, you literally have 3 assets in 3 different asset classes, 3 different partners, 2 different countries, and 2 different currencies. Boom, you're done. You're already away to the races. Yes, the returns are per annum, Larry. So, I have a question to ask you. And again, I did show you this yesterday. I know a bunch of you are feeling overwhelmed. I've had a number of one-to-one meetings and I ask people, I say, how are you feeling? They're like, I feel overwhelmed. I get it, ladies and gentlemen. 28 years worth of knowledge in 5 days is a tough gig in terms of, and just by the way, Shane, can you just let me know if Abdul's here? In terms of it. So my question to you is, do you remember we started on Monday? I know Monday feels like a lifetime ago. But do you remember we started and I asked you a question, what would it mean to you in 12 months or less to be earning a globally diversified passive income without any hassle or complexity? Do you remember I asked you that question? So my question is, how would you like a system which would statistically help you get there 70% faster, safer, and simpler? I asked you that on Monday. Now, I ask you a question in the other direction. After 5 days, do you think that we have shared with you a system that A, could help you get a passive income in under 12 months, and B, could help you get there 70%, you know, faster, safer, and simpler? I asked you the question up front, if you wanted it. And I'd like to believe we've shared a way to do it. You don't have to use us. You can use anyone you want if you want. I've given you the knowledge. But do you feel that at least after 5 days, you'll be like, okay, no, this is truly, you know, I said I want that stuff, and actually this is the way I could do it. I'm not saying I should do it, that's your choice, but it's certainly a way I could do it. So I want to share one of the greatest lessons I learned, and I learned it from an amazing man called Roger Hamilton. And if you're not paying attention now, like literally switch off your work meeting or whatever you're doing, because now you need to pay attention, literally for 5 minutes. So I want to teach you the formula for success as we taught at school. So at school, we taught, go to school, and when I get clarity, so I'm going to learn about all this stuff, okay? And once I get clarity, then I'm going to get confidence. So I tell you, whether it's school or university, it's the same thing. I'm going to go and learn all about accounting. And when I get, when I understand accounting, like then I'm going to have the confidence. Okay. And once I got the confidence, I'm going to make a commitment. I tell you what, now I've got the clarity, I've got the confidence, and now I'm going to make a commitment. And then I'm going to get results. And you know what the sad thing is? It's wrong. It's the completely wrong way around. So I want to share with you a little story by one of the most wealthy people in the world, the richest man in the world, Andrew Carnegie. And Andrew Carnegie was a Scotsman. He was in America and he had no money. He didn't have any rich friends. He didn't go to any of the fancy universities. He had none of the stuff that people use as excuses. So he saw a gap in the market and he said, you know what we need to do? I can see that we've got the Industrial Revolution. I can see that we've got, railways being built. I can see we got shipyards being built, ships being built. We got skyscrapers being built, and we need steel. America needs steel. And so, what most people would do is they'd be like, okay, let me get all the clarity. Let me figure out how to do this and try and understand this whole thing and everything else. And then Abdul, thanks for joining us. I'll be with you now. Okay. And he said, like, let me, most people, like, based on what we learned, I'll get all the clarity, okay? And then once I get all the clarity, then I'll get confidence. And only then will I make a commitment. He didn't do that. He literally made a commitment. He said, I'm going to build a steel mill in America. Now, in those days, the only steel mill was in England. He said, I'm going to build a steel mill in America. And so he made a commitment. The first thing he did was make a commitment. Now, by the way, he had no reason to succeed, but he made a commitment. And then he got the confidence because he was like, well, actually, I'm going to do this thing. And so he went out and he saw JP Morgan and a bunch of other people. He said, I am literally going to build a steel mill and I want you to give me the money. And they were like, well, we're not going to give you the money because you don't have any customers. And he said, well, I'm building a steel mill and I've got confidence it's going to work. So he then went to his customers. He went to the shipyards and he went to the railway station, the railway builders and the whatever. He said, guys, I'm building a steel mill. And by the way, if you want to sign up now, you can have this price of the steel for the next 2 years. And if you don't, I'm going to go straight to your competitor and they'll have steel. And by the way, the steel will be much cheaper than trying to import it all the way from England. So what he did is he went to all the biggest steel, people that needed steel, and they all signed steel contracts. Okay, confidence. He had nothing. He had an idea. He had commitment and he had confidence. And then he got clarity. And with that clarity, he had all the contracts. He went back to JP Morgan. He said, here are all my customers. Give me the money to build a steel mill. And I've already got, 2 years worth of customers or whatever. And on the back of that, JP Morgan lent him the money. He built the steel mill and he became the wealthiest man in the world. So let's look at the formula for success from the wealthy. It starts with commitment. You make a commitment. Then you have confidence. And then you have clarity. And then you have success. What did Andrew Carnegie do? He made a commitment. He got confidence. He then got clarity. And then he got success. And so my question to you, there's many of you, a couple of hundred of you that are here. 728 of you signed up to be part of this challenge. How many of you are prepared to make a commitment to building globally diversified passive income? If you are, literally just type in the word commitment. It's not to me. It's not going to change my life, but I want to change yours. And if you feel that if you understand this formula, it's literally a commitment. So if you write their commitment, you're making commitment to yourself, whatever it is, whatever it takes. So I've got Abdul joining us. And just before Abdul joins us, I want to share with you, because for all the people, and thank you for all the people that are writing commitment, it's wonderful. I really appreciate it. Again, for yourself, I appreciate it for yourself. I made a little post. I put it in the WhatsApp group and I said, the next 10 years is going to be the best decade of your life. And that's how you make it happen, by making a commitment. So people say to me, well, okay, I want to make a commitment. What do I do? Well, you can do anything. I mean, you can make a commitment, but just do something. But I wanted to share with you our aspirational ladder, just so people can understand what the different options are. So at a minimum, you could literally sign up to the VIP and you'll get all the replays. You'll get the replays of the last 5 days. You'll get the replays of the VIP. You'll get all the PowerPoints, et cetera, all the resources, everything. So you'll get everything. Just by the way, if you're part of the free challenge, everything's being taken down on Sunday. The recordings and everything, the resources, everything. So if you want to watch the replays over and over again, my strong recommendation, sign up for the VIP and you'll get all the recordings. The next thing's the starter pack. We've learned all the theory. Now it's about starting. I've shown you we've got 3 deals coming. And what is a starter pack? You get it costs $197, but you get $100 literally straight back into your wallet. And it's priority onboarding. The third thing, Wealth Going Global. I've explained it to you today. It's the 6-module course, and it's how to get the right information. So if you just want to get the information, you just want to start there, Wealth Going Global is your place. Asset Mastery. You want to learn from the right partners. How do you get access to the right partners? That's Asset Mastery. And then finally, the top of the table is our mastermind, which is where we work directly with you and with the Calio team in terms of the mastermind to help you achieve it. So, that's the aspirational ladder. And what was really exciting, and thanks to Alex, we realized there was a gap in the market because some people need a Sherpa or a guide or their Chifu to help take them, a coach, someone to hold them accountable to go on this journey. And so we created the Pathfinder. And it's unique. We've never done it before. It's literally a birthday special. It's the coaching and accountability. And what does that do? It's literally your compass. It's your guide, literally taking you on that journey. And if you look at this little graphic, I love this graphic coming up here. It literally helps you go up the aspirational ladder, one step at a time. Isn't that pretty cool? Just a round of applause for Shane. I love that slide. So if you don't understand after 5 days, there you have it. You said make a commitment. You figure out which stage of the ladder you want to get started. And if you're not sure, the Pathfinder can help you go all the way up the ladder in terms of where we're at. So without further ado, I want to hand to Abdul. Abdul, wonderful to have you online. It's really awesome. Let's get you pinned up there. There you come. So Abdul, thanks for joining us. I know that you've just had an operation, so I really appreciate you jumping on and joining us and sharing. Tell us just a little bit about yourself. You've got a fascinating story of your background and accounting and auditing and everything in between. I'd love to know, just people to understand who you are. Oh, hang on. We need to unmute you, Abdul. Can you just unmute yourself?
Yeah, there we go.
Awesome. Got you.
Thank you, Scott. Yes, indeed. I had my episode of surgery. They put 8 implants in my mouth.
Oh, wow.
And I thought initially it was going to be a walk in the park, and it proved otherwise. But anyway, we're here to talk. Okay, for 3 days, I could not even say a word. But anyway, we're here.
Well, thank you so much for coming and sharing your experience with everyone, because I deeply appreciate it.
Okay. In terms of, the brief you extend to me, I, again, with pleasure, share. And I think just a little I covered, that you covered now towards the end when you say commitment. But commitment can only come from belief. If you don't believe in anything, you can't commit to anything. So that belief normally is either a dream or a vision. So in my case, I learned fairly early in my life that auditing, I'm an auditor. Auditing is an extremely boring profession, and you need to have excitement in your life. So I've never divorced myself from the entrepreneurship of it. So the only person I really worked for in my life is that firm that trained me to become what I am. After which, when I got my CASA, the Chartered Accountant in South Africa, I opened my own office. And for the first year, my turnover was less than my salary for a year. But that same firm that I started is now 40 years old and responsible for what I am, who I am, and what I have. So one needs to have the commitment, and one also needs to have the tenacity and the wherewithal to stay the course. And that comes from that belief, that absolute belief that you're going to succeed.
It's
So
so
it's
what you just said there. Sorry, I just want to butt in, but I just want to reinforce what you just said there, because we're all going to have dark days. We're all going to have dark weeks, dark months, and even dark years. But if you've got that belief to keep going and you've got a clear goal in mind, it's only a matter of time until you get there, you know?
Correct. And really, that is what it is. And the universe takes care of the rest, really, believe me. But if you focus, you know what you want, and you go for it, you will achieve it. And I'm a living example of that. In my little life journey from opening up my own auditing practice, the firm today audits the Auditor General of South Africa in terms of doing, pre-issuance reviews, etc. So, I mean, that's quite a way to come. The point I'm trying to make is that on the entrepreneurial side, I was introduced to property. And the first property transaction I ever had was Newfields, way back in the 2005. Telkom was selling off land. And one of the pieces of land they were selling off was their training center in Brackenfell, Cape Town, which was some 35,000 square meters of land.
Wow.
I did my homework, okay, checked what the square meter rate is for land, and quickly I realized that this is the biggest piece of industrial land in the area. And I said, well, we must win this. So I don't have money. I partnered with 2 other individuals, and I said, right, we're going to go for this. And they supported. We then made at that time, the price was 285 rands going rate in the market. But because we want to win, I made a few sums and I said, no, we must go in at 450 rands a square meter. And we won. And then we looked at who was the next or the second guy. There was at least 100 and some odd rands difference between us and them.
Wow.
And my partners weren't very impressed with me. But,
you like outbid them.
That's it. And within a period of a year, property in the area escalated to 800 rands a square meter.
Wow, so double.
And Telkom more than almost double. And Telkom, being what Telkom was, they dragged their feet in terms of giving us transfers. So we're having a free ride. Eventually, I was approached by another property developer who was doing mini factories. And he offered me for 2/3 of the land, you're going to give me 850 rands a square meter.
Sure.
I said, great, I'll take that. Okay, so I was going to spend 17 million with Telkom. A deposit of 1.7 million is the deposit. And he was going to pay me 21 million for what he wants. So I got 4 million rands worth of profit. With the 4 million, and I'm getting 12,000 square meters of land for free. With that, I was the first to build a self-storage facility in the area, which obviously cost me for free. I eventually, after, I don't know, I sold it 3 years ago. I sold that same facility for 56 million to Storage, the listed company.
Sure. And you earned the income all the way through as well.
Correct. So that is what one is saying. And I take, in other words, I may not have known the storage business, but there was sufficient detail on the internet that made me aware that what is happening in the world is that we live in smaller and smaller spaces, but we are generally hoarders. So I developed the concept of, here is a hotel for your goods. And that place filled up within 2 years.
Wow. And it's so interesting, just to reiterate a couple of things you said there. So, there's a lot of people beyond you like, I got no money, I can't do it. It's like, no, but you just said you had no money, but you got the partners in and got the deal done. And I mean, I told the story earlier, my first development was exactly the same. So, you know, it's just an awakening and an awareness for everyone on that. The second one that I think is important is that you took a sector that was new, but you did the research and you were like, right, this is future proofing. This is where the world's going. So we talk a lot about trends and fundamentals, and it was like, right, this is going to work. And then the third thing, which you sort of dropped it right at the end there, but most people, you know, I want to make sure they heard it, is that how do most people make money in property? It's by selling to a listed company, because listed companies don't like getting their hands dirty. They like just to buy assets that are working and are performing and the income's coming in. So Abdul and his partners did the hard work. They owned the building. It's called seasoning the rent and all that sort of stuff. I won't get into fancy terms, but in simple terms, it's just making sure the rent is stable. And then they sold it on to a REIT, a real estate investment trust, or a property fund, or something that's listed, who has all the money but doesn't want to get their hands dirty. And what Abdul's just explained is what I taught you a couple of days ago in the value chain of real estate. Like literally, that's the best way to do it in terms of that process. So Abdul, let me ask a question to you in terms of it. So you've been very, very successful in property in your country. I mean, you happen to live in South Africa, but it could be anyone. It could be a German living in Germany, you know, and because obviously you know the market, you understand the market, you're an accountant by background, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But you went and decided to sign up for Wealth Going Global, you know, to try and, you know, I don't know, solve a problem. What was that problem for you, and why did you sign up for Wealth Going Global?
Scott, like I said to you at the beginning, I have this wealth. It's all localized. I have no exposure anywhere else on earth. Okay, so the catchy phrase from your side was going global, or diversified income going global. Now that appealed to me. In other words, yes, I may be rich in this country. What happens if I'm outside? There's all types of restrictions in terms of the transfer of my wealth, my assets, wherever I may be on earth. So that appealed to me. And I really, when listening to your you know, the initial thing you sold to me, I forget now what it was, Wealth Going Global,
Wealth Going Global,
the program. It took all of 5 months, is it, or 5 weeks? Okay, and that really opened an opportunity or a process for me in terms of engaging in diversifying my wealth. And I must say, although I have the brains to think that out, why must I do that? Yeah, you're giving it to us on a platter. So we follow that process, and yes, we engage, and yes, we will get exposed. We have obviously since did do an investment again in property. Property is the economics, I understand. It makes sense to me. Okay, and we invested in that. And there are 2 more potential transactions on the table. Hopefully, I'll be able to partake in those as well. And yes, what I got as a product from the initial course was what is referred to as a diversification plan, where, again, one sets objectives. That becomes your dream. You commit to that, and now roll it out. Yeah. Surely it won't happen next week, but as long as it happens, I think you're on the right road, and that's the path I've chosen to take. And thanks to you, Scott.
Awesome, Abdul. Well, you know, one of the things that I just want to highlight and congratulate you for as well is that a lot of people have analysis paralysis. And if I take the journey over the last couple of months, you know, you did the course, you know, something obviously resonated, you enjoyed it, you joined the mastermind. You know, between Alex and I know you like face-to-face. So, you know, Alex came to see you and you invested, you know, and actually you've already earned your first passive income, like all in the space of, I don't know, 4 months, basically 4 or 5 months.
That's
I don't know
right.
exactly, but call it 6 months if you want. Like, I don't mind, you know, in terms of that process. And I just wanted to kind of give people a feel that, again, when someone's prepared, like, and I love your word belief, when they've got the belief, they've got the desire, like, and they're prepared to take action, like, stuff happens quite quickly in the process. You know, it's sort of, as you said, the universe conspires to get behind you and make it happen. So I just wanted to say, like, well done to you, because the reason I asked you to come and share with people today is that often people sit here and they go, no, it sounds too good to be true, or like, I don't understand, or, you know, maybe I can't do it or whatever. And I've purposely each day tried to bring someone to say, well, look, here's a real person with their own real life and real challenges and real whatever. And in your case, a huge amount of experience as well. Like, I mean, you know more about South African property and particularly industrial and storage and everything than I've ever learned, you know, and so that's the beauty. We don't have to know everything. Like, we can collaborate with each other. I mean, I've even joked with Abdul, not joke, quite serious actually. I'd love to get him onto the investment committee. I think his knowledge is amazing and can add massive wisdom to you know, us and looking at opportunities around the world, you know. But that's the power of partnership, you know.
Yeah, certainly, Scott. And the other part is obviously one of the things you alerted us or reminded myself is that if you do things in teams, it becomes easier. Collective wisdom is better than your own limited and parochial type of ideas. So that's also something I quite enjoyed, in a sense that here's a deal, this is how it's being presented, it resonates with me, but it's thought through by others that I can relate to. Yeah. And that's also key, in a sense that we always can't believe that we understand everything. But in a team, each one has his good points and he knows what he's good for. And you put all of those together, you will end up maybe with a success. But if you don't have that, maybe we'll never get to success.
Yeah, it's people, a bunch of people are saying, inspiring story, love the collective wisdom, amazing. So thank you so much. I got two last questions for you, Abdul. My first question is, I get asked the question all the time, is it too late? You know, I'm 55, I'm 60, whatever it is, whatever age people associate with being too late. And they say, it's too late for me, I can't do it. And one of the things I'm so impressed with you, and again, you don't have to share your age if you don't want to, but the point being is that your mindset and your thinking is like, you know, a 20-year-old, okay? And I mean that with the greatest, no, because my point is, you know, age is just a number, you know, and it's never too late. And I'd love to just ask you the question, what would you say to someone that says, no, you know, I'm 65, it's too late? Like, what would you say to them?
Well, I'm beyond that, and it's never too late. The only time when you're late is when you're late, you're dead. Yeah. Up until then, you have a purpose on this earth, perform it.
No, brilliant, brilliant.
And that's part of that belief that we're talking about. You must believe, the first thing you must believe in is yourself, and that lease of life that you have in you. Practice it, enjoy it.
No, that's brilliant, man. Abdul, my final question, which I think you might have just taken out of my mouth, I was literally going to go, so what would be your final words of wisdom for people? And I think you might have just given it, but I don't know if there's anything you want to wrap up with, you know, for people that are sort of, they're here, they've come and sat, they're on the fence, whatever it is, you know, what any sort of ideas or thoughts that you want to give them?
I think we all need to be thankful and grateful that we're alive. Okay, and then we need to understand the purpose of our life. And really, I'm a firm believer in that we've put on this earth to create values. The ingredients for the creation of any value or all values is your time, your energy, and resources. Define the value to be created, and you'll be able to define the resources necessary for its creation. It's a formula. You can use it in any sphere of your life. It works.
Wow.
You want to know further about it? You can come have more chats with me. And I will also, like you, I love teaching, because I believe the best way to learn is to teach.
Yeah, well, it's so interesting. You know, Abdul and I didn't even prepare for this. So you've been incredible, dude. Like, literally, the best way to learn is to teach is fantastic. And I tell you what, Shane, I'm going to resign and Abdul can take over the rest of the presentation. No, that was brilliant, mate. Thanks so much for your time. You know, as I said, just come out of hospital, and I'm sure, I mean, I'm blown away by what you shared. I'm just thinking to myself, right, I'm going to listen to that recording again. I need to write down that formula. That was amazing. So thanks so much for your time. That was incredible.
My pleasure, Scott.
Awesome. Keep on, mate. We'll chat soon. Right. Cape Town. I look forward to seeing you.
No, good. Thanks.
Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, how amazing was that? And I can see there's some lots and lots of comments coming through in terms of Abdul's wisdom. So like I said to you, you've got, you know, all the different things, etc. But you know, there's nothing better than listening to someone live. And by the way, I have shared with you already the recording from Cynthia, and my strong recommendation is to watch that. Cynthia is a lady. She, you know, she got divorced 10 years ago. She's an American. She lived in Hong Kong for 20 or 30 years. She started saving and putting her money into a pension plan in her 20s. And sort of 10 years ago, got divorced. And I think it sounded like it was a bit of a nasty divorce. And so she's pretty much been on her own and been trying to kind of, you know, make her own way. She's now lives in Italy. She's a teacher. She teaches children in China, English, actually. And so I think it resonates and should resonate with a lot of people, because it's no goal, you know, silver spoon or anything like that. And then she had this little nest egg that she had built up from her pension plan back in her 20s, and it had kind of grown and it hit maturity. And for the last couple of years, it kind of had analysis paralysis, like her side. She didn't know what to do. And anyway, she heard about us. I actually can't remember how she heard about us. And she joined the mastermind. And she literally said to me, Scott, like, I need passive income. Like, for me, you know, I'm working for money, you know, for these Chinese students, but China can switch off the system at any time. They did it during COVID, and then I have no income, and I'm seriously at risk. And anyway, so she joined the mastermind, and I introduced her to Calio. And it's the most amazing story, because they literally took, and this is why I work with Calio, by the way, like, I'm never going to sit and be able to help you figure out what to do with a provident or pension fund sitting in Hong Kong. It's just not, it's not me. I don't understand how to do that. But what I do know how to do is get partners. Abdul said, it's all about partnership. And so, you know, what I'm good at is getting the partners. And so, you know, she sat with Calio, they helped her. And within, I think it was 2 months, she actually invested in that Austin deal where she's earning 10%, you know, in US dollars. And it's just the most amazing story, because within 2 months, she was earning passive income. And then actually something happened with her child going to university. And she literally was like, it's just the most amazing feeling that she now doesn't have to stress or worry. She doesn't have to fight with her ex-husband. You know, she's in control of her life. And anyway, so, you know, again, go look at the testimonials, go watch that video. You know, if you're sitting here thinking like, but I need some inspiration, like I'm a bit scared, I'm a bit nervous, well, go watch real people. I mean, you've literally seen, you know, Niels, you've seen Michael, you've seen Abdul, you know, I've sent you the video for Cynthia. You know, watch them and take away the nuggets, learn what they've done, learn how they did it. But what did they all do? What's the one word that they all did that hundreds of people, if not thousands of people that have watched the webinars didn't do? What did they do? What's one word? Please just write down there the one word. Nadia, you win the toaster. That's right. They took action. That's exactly what they did. They got out of analysis paralysis. They knew what they wanted, and they took action. So well done to Nadia, Larry, Sharon, Jaza. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. That's exactly what they did. They took action in terms of that process, and all the hundreds of other people, thousands actually of people that have done it before. So we started on Monday with this journey of unconscious incompetence, conscious incompetence, conscious competence, and unconscious competence. I would guess that most of you are probably sitting somewhere between conscious incompetence and, you know, probably somewhere here. Okay, because in the last 5 days, you're probably feeling overwhelmed, and you're probably thinking to yourself, well, hang on, like now there's all this stuff that I didn't even know. But now I know I don't know it, at least. When you turned up on Monday, you didn't know what you didn't know. And just by the way, it doesn't matter how sophisticated you are. Abdul's highly sophisticated. He's an accountant, he's an auditor, you know, he's had tremendous success. We all learn in different areas. Every single one of us, no matter what area we go into, we can learn something new. And so you go through this journey, and, you know, it's much better to know you don't know something than to not know you don't know something. And then to say, okay, well, how do I go up this ladder? And that's where, you know, again, I brought this up so many times. You know, for me, it's all about mastery. And the easiest way to get there is partnership. You know what I mean? In terms of where you go. So now, I love this little picture, and I share it with a bit of humor. The chances are in the last 5 days, you're going to think that getting there is going to be a bit like these little puppies. Like, the theory is like, you're all just going to turn up and it'll be easy and you'll eat your little dog bowl and it'll all work. But you know as well as I do that on Monday morning, life's going to hit you in the face, maybe even in an hour's time or 2 hours time when you go back to work. And in real life, like this is real life. You know, life happens, Israel happens, Ukraine happens, inflation goes up, interest rates go up. You have a fight with someone, it's like, oh my word, it's real life. And the goal is diverse, you know, globally diversified passive income. But we all know that there's no straight line. You know, it gets a bit messy. And, you know, just like my walk up Kilimanjaro, you know, it got messy, things happen. But that's why you need that guide. You need that chifu to say, don't worry, we agreed we're going to the top of that mountain. Let's go. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, you don't know where to start, you've got information overload, you know, I know I need to get started, but I don't know what to do. It's a massive mountain to climb. You know, 97% of people fail because they don't take action, but I don't want to be one of them. You know, I want to plan, I want to take action, I want to make sure I get results. I'd be very surprised on the tail end of day 5 if you're not feeling most of those things. But the problem with most training is there's no accountability. There's no monitoring, short-term feel good, failure to implement, lose focus and effectiveness. And then what do? And if you're anything like me for 14 years, you go do another course. You know, you read another book, you read another seminar, you know. And I mean, I've spoken to people that have done like 5 courses, 10 courses, 15 courses. I'm like, why don't you just do what you're learning? You can't go and keep doing courses. It ain't going to change things. You've actually got to implement. You've actually got to do something in the process. So let's look at the learning curve for any learning. And I showed you this on Monday. Time management. If you're wanting to learn time management, so you come on a course, time management, immediately your skills are going to improve. But what happens on Monday morning? It falls off. But at least you're at a better place. And there's only one way to get up. Can anyone remember what the word is? Just type in the chat box if you can remember. What's the only thing you can do? You've done a skill, you've fallen off, you're at a high level. What's the word I'm looking for? There's one word that you have to do over and over again. Consistency, get up. The word I'm looking for, repeat. Repetition. Repetition is the mother of skill. You do it again, you're going to fall off, you'll be at a high level. You do it again, you're going to fall off, you'll be at a high level. Repetition, repetition, repetition. And so for me, repetition is the mother of skill. Doing it over and over and over again is the mother of skill in terms of where we're at. So, you know, we talk about outcomes. What do people want? People that are here 5 days in, they want to diversify. They want to build globally diversified passive income. Is it 5K a month, a year? Is it 10K a month, a year? Is it 25K a month, a year? They want to learn from the leading authorities in each asset class and to gain international knowledge. So, and then not only learn it, but actually be able to partner with them. They want to use their limited time. You know, people are very time poor to get results quickly, safely, and simply. They want to achieve the desired outcome in a desired time frame with predictability. They want to be held accountable and have an accountability partner to get results. They want to have a family office to help them manage all their financial affairs. And they want to get results. And for me, those 8 things are the primary reasons that people are part of our community. And if someone resonates with all 8 of those, or most of them, that's when they join the mastermind. But I want to give you a gift. And, you know, this is probably one of the better gifts that I can give you. So this guy, Tony Robbins, is one of the most successful people in the world. He was named by Accenture as the topmost 100 influential people in the world. He's a life coach, a business coach, and everything in between. But what he's actually brilliant at is pattern recognition. So he takes really complex processes and makes them simple. And I paid $15,000. I told you on Monday, I paid $15,000 to go on a business course for 5 days with him in Vegas. There were 1,000 of us in a room. And at the end of the day, he said, the end of the 5 days, he said, listen, most of you are going to be really excited. You're going to be overwhelmed. You're going to be, you know, not sure what to do next. And he said, so what I'm going to do is give you a gift. And it's called creating lasting change. And in creating lasting change, he literally takes the science of the human psychology, behavior, belief, and everything else, and teaches you how to turn into action, teaches you how to turn into results. So I had the privilege, because I was there, and they were launching this new product called Business Mastery, Business Breakthroughs, actually. And so I went to him because I flew to Fiji. I spent another $50,000 to fly to Fiji, and I spent 2 weeks with him in Fiji. And when I was with him personally in Fiji, I learned about this new product, Business Breakthroughs, which was a whole business course. And at the time, you know, we just had the global financial crisis. A lot of people were in trouble. So I got personally trained by Tony Robbins and by his partner, Chet Holmes. Now, Chet Holmes doubled the sales in 50 of the Fortune 500 companies. 50. Fortune 500, biggest 500 companies in the world, and he doubled the sales of 50 of them. Can we agree that Tony Robbins and Chet Holmes are probably two of the people in the world that not only have the track record of results, but if they were to share with us how to get results, how to turn knowledge into action, into results, you know, it's probably a system we should copy. Well, the gift I want to give you is that I was trained by them personally, and I want to literally take you through it in a separate webinar. I'm going to teach you the 7 master steps to maximum impact, the keys to leadership, the 6 human needs, the skill of decision-making, the formula for happiness, and a scientific way to get results. Who would like that? Just say yes if you would like it, or I'll literally give it to you for free. And why do I want to give that to you? Because I don't want you to come here for 5 days and to have a lot of knowledge and a lot of theory and a lot of excitement and not actually turn it into results. I flew all the way to Vegas and I was so excited, but the difference between that and every other course that I went on was this, because it turned from theory into like literally action and results. And so my gift to you is I will literally give you that program. I'll give it to you in a digital format so you can do it anytime you want, or I'll do it in a live format. We will literally announce the date on the WhatsApp group. I spoke to Shane this morning. I said, we've got the digital version. I'm going to give it to you. I'm actually going to give you a whole gift. I'm going to give you the power of clarity. I'm going to give you a masterclass on diversification, and I'm going to give you creating lasting change. Shane's put it together as a gift for everybody. And in return, all that we ask in return is that if we've added value to you, then you go and give us a testimonial on Trustpilot. That's all it is. So, and we live by the philosophy of Zig Ziglar. You can have anything you want in life if you help enough other people get what they want. So if you go to Trustpilot and you literally go to, and you literally put it up there on Trustpilot, and then once you've done that, you go to diversification.challenge/testimonial, and you literally just submit it. We will literally give you access to that creating lasting change. And if you do a video, and most people are scared of videos, but if you literally stick a camera in front of your face and just make us a video, we'll give you $150 off anything else that you buy in the future from the Wealth University. And why do we do that, ladies and gentlemen? At the end of the day, real people and real stories are much more powerful than Scott or Shane standing on stage telling you what we can do. People want to hear from real people. And so, yeah, it's a gift. I'll give it to you for free. And in return, and again, only on the principle we've added value to, you share with people what that value was. Is that fair? Please just type in there yes or no if you think it's fair. Just a fair trade. And by the way, if you came from Ann Wilson, I absolutely love Ann Wilson. I think she's phenomenal. I know that she curates and looks after her community incredibly tightly. She's an incredible woman. She only adds incredible value to her community. And if you've got value out of this, I would deeply appreciate you letting her know, because it takes a lot for her. I'm good friends with Ann. I've known her for a long time. She was one of the ones that actually helped me go into the digital world, because I used to do this all on, live. And, so it's a big thing for her to let her community know about it. And I know there's a number of people that joined and have, given me very positive feedback. But please, I do ask you just to let her know, so that she knows with confidence that she's not recommending something that's not worth people's time. So yeah, and thank you for all the fair comments, fair trade, etc., etc. I deeply appreciate that. So let's wrap up for day 5, and we're going to go full circle now. So if you remember, we started on Monday morning, and I said people get their musts and not their shoulds. They get what they tolerate. And again, if globally diversified passive income is a must for you, then you're going to make it a reality. Remember how we started this morning with that motivational video from Eddie Perino, where he literally said, like, you do what it takes. Abdul said the same thing. You have the belief and you make it happen. And Scott Pickens' father said, where there's a will, there's a way. Don't tell me you don't have money. Don't tell me you don't have knowledge. Don't tell me you don't have time. Don't make excuses. Where there's a will, there's a way. In terms of knowledge and understanding, I remind you that we go through this process of cognitive learning, like when we're doing our learner's test, when we're driving, emotional mastery, where we start to like get in our body, and then final physical mastery. And I always love these three pictures because I don't think there's any better way for people to understand in terms of that process. I remind you of the training effect. And I've shown you this so many times, but let's make sure that we reinforce it one last time. Are you going to be a dabbler? Is this just another course or challenge that you're going to come on? Are you going to be a stressor? Are you going to be like, this is all lacquer, but I tell you what, thanks for giving me all the stuff. I'm going to go and do it all myself. Like me, 14 years. Hard, I promise you. Or are you going to commit to mastery? And, my strong recommendation is that I got asked that same question in 2010. And it's been a game changer for me, absolute game changer, mastering and modeling. And then this has been the real breakthrough for me, this partnership. It's the easiest, safest, and simplest way to get to where I want to be, is I don't have to do it all myself. I can literally, partner with people to get there in that process. And by the way, if you talk to almost any successful person, like we got some of the wealthiest people in South Africa, some of the most successful property people in South Africa, and they wanted to go to America. Do you think they tried to go to America themselves? No, of course they didn't. This is 10 years ago now. They got on a buyer's trip. They flew over to America with us. They went to all the big cities. We introduced them to all the partners. They invested alongside us for many, many years. And now they, some of them have moved to America and are doing it on their own. That's fine. That's how it works. Partnership. And then, again, to remind you of that little story about the doctor. If you had to lose weight, no matter what, as well as I do, you would get a coach. So if your wealth was as important, if passive income was as important, I'm almost sure that you would find a way to make a coach as important. And because it's our birthday, literally, we put together this wealth pathfinder for you. And again, remembering that story from Kilimanjaro, a person who goes ahead of the group, finds the best way to travel through an unknown area, a person or group that do something, and that makes it possible for others to do the same thing. Ladies and gentlemen, when I invested internationally in 1999, I was 22 years old. People thought I was absolutely stark staring mad. When I wrote a dissertation in 1998 on how technology was going to change the construction and property industry, people thought I was stark staring mad. In fact, you couldn't even spell IT, literally IT, in the construction and property industry. And yet 23, 24 years later, everyone's like, hey, we should be investing internationally. We should be using technology. We should be diversifying. Yes, you should. And all that I can help you with is saving you 28 years worth of knowledge, not only mine, but with the partners and everyone that come along. According to Harvard, you've got a 400% better chance of getting results than doing it on your own. And I remind you, the golden formula, the right information and the right partners. And we've literally given you the gift. I've given you everything I know in Wealth Going Global. So giving you the right information, it's literally up to date. We recorded it about 3 months ago. Someone like Abdul has been through it, and that's how he's literally gone international. He's investing in America in industrial buildings, and he's already earning a passive income. That's how he did it. He literally got the right information. And then the second thing is he did asset mastery, and he got access to the partners. So he got the information and he got the partners, and now you can see he's getting the results in terms of that process. So that's your choice. To finish off, the homework for today, Silver, is finish your wealth plan. We've given you the gift. We've given you the certificate. We've given you the spreadsheet. Finish it. Develop a plan for diversifying your investments, considering your financial goals and your risk tolerance. Finalize your diversified investment action plan, including specific steps. So again, remember, I walked up a mountain, but we had specific steps. Every single day we had to get to camp. And I'm sure the Chifu who was guiding us had certain spots that he wanted to get us to at lunchtime. We didn't actually know, to be honest. I'm sure we didn't know. I can't remember. But, I guarantee you, because he had walked the journey so many times, he was like, that's a good view spot for lunch. That's a good view spot for tea. But no matter how tired you are, no matter how sick you are, we're getting to that camp at nighttime. And by the way, it's the most frustrating thing climbing that mountain, because you went up and then you went down. Sometimes you got to go down to go up. Take action. A lot of you put your thing in there, commitment. And if you're still not sure, You don't even have to put it out there publicly. Turn to your friend, your business partner, your husband, your wife, say, I'm going to take action. But take one concrete step. I learned this from Tony Robbins. Never, ever leave the site without taking action. Now, not before you leave, not before you go, not tonight, before you go to bed. Right now, take action. And if nothing else, like just do something simple. Buy the VIP thing. Make a commitment to yourself. Write down something. Commit you'll do the wealth plan. I don't care what it is. Take action. Join the Pathfinder. Apply for the mastermind. Whatever resonates with you, whatever your intuition's telling you. But just do something, please. And then share one key takeaway on social media, around diversification. And you all know why it's so important. The gold, please watch the testimonial with Cynthia. And maybe after everything you've learned after the last 5 days, if you've watched it, rewatch it. Because now you can start to see someone that's been part of the mastermind for 12 months and the learning journey they've been on and the metamorphic. I mean, literally, her testimonial was something like, thank God for the mastermind, the exponential learning, and the partners and information that it's introduced us to. I can't tell people what to write. This is what they write to me. And it's one of the greatest gifts that I've been given is the stories of results that people come back with. And then, if you've added value, and please, I want to be clear, only if we've added value, do a testimonial, and then we'll give you access to the creating lasting change in terms of that process. Hopefully that's a fair trade. In terms of the prize winner, Nadia, you are the prize winner for VIP. So thank you, Shane, for organizing. Your engagement's been wonderful. While I'm talking here, it's like flying an airplane. I'm watching the comments on the right-hand side. So it's, I can't read them all, but, thanks to my partner, Shane. Nadia, you've been absolutely incredible. So thank you for everything you've done. You get an automatic upgrade to the VIP, which means you're going to get all the recordings for this whole week, both the live and the VIP. You're going to get and that's for your life. You're going to get all the resources. You're going to get the PowerPoint. What else are you getting, Shane? I can't even remember. Oh, you're getting access to the first module of Wealth Going Global for free. So yeah, we're chugging it all in, baby. So that's us giving it back, Nadia, to you to say thank you for your engagement. Look, by the way, your guys' engagement is brilliant because when you engage and you're excited, I get excited. And the more excited I am, the more value I can share with you. Again, I remind you, if you're not joined the WhatsApp group, please do. We'll keep you updated. We'll let you know about future events and join us on the Facebook group. And if nothing else, go on the Facebook group. It's a private group, so it's not public. You don't have to worry about the IRS or SARS or someone reading about it if you don't want that stuff. And share your learnings. What did Abdul say? The greatest way to learn something is to share. Go and share your learnings. Go and share what your top 3 takeaways were. One of the best things I learned from Tony Robbins is before you leave today, just sit down and write down what were your top 3 learnings. In fact, if you want, and by the way, just type in there Richard if you want it. I've been in Neck Island twice. I've spent 2 weeks with Richard Branson, literally from when he woke up to when he went to bed. I was with him the entire day. It's like going on holiday with your mate for a week. I could ask him anything. I asked him questions about business. I asked him about, if you know kite surfing, there's a picture of a naked lady on his back. And I was like, how did your wife allow you to do that? I asked him everything. I kite surfed around the island with him. I played tennis with him. I played chess with him. I had so much fun with him. And I asked him every question I ever wanted to know. And more importantly, I got to know, I got to watch someone who's got, in my opinion, the most incredible life. And I just got to watch how he runs his day. And my point of my story is that every single day I made a video of the lessons I learned that day, because I knew a year from now or 10 years from now, I won't remember. So every day I made a video, and I've got those videos from both things. So if you want the Richard videos, I will chuck them as a gift into the WhatsApp group, the WhatsApp diversification WhatsApp. Use them, don't use them if you want. But yeah, my point being is that your takeaway from here is do what I do. I promise you in a week's time, you won't remember half of this stuff. So just write down, what are your top 3 things? Or even what was your top 1 thing per day? Go look at your notes. And, if you put them in Facebook, then others can share as well. And that's the benefit. If you write something and someone else writes something, now you guys have a cheat sheet for this week. WhatsApp not accessible to everyone, but only limited to administration to send messages. Yeah. So you can't put stuff in. So we will put stuff in, but you have to join the group. I'll also put it in the Facebook group because there's no limitations with regards to that. And Shane, if you wouldn't mind just chucking in the the WhatsApp and the Facebook links in the chat again, just in case people can't find them. So we're finishing off. I can see the top of the mountain. I can see Kilimanjaro in my sights. It's the right information and the right partners. This whole week has been about getting you the knowledge for the right information and the right partners. And what do you do with it now? You know, what was our mission over these 5 days? It was to turn money into globally diversified passive income. To turn money into globally diversified passive income. What do you do next? Well, my recommendation is do a testimonial and watch Creating Lasting Change, because that'll help you cement, along with all the other action and everything else that we've spoken about in terms of where it is. To remind you, if you said, right, I'm making a commitment, I'm taking action, and you're still overwhelmed, you like, don't know what to do, just do something. Okay, now whether you want to do it with us or with someone else, I actually don't mind. Okay, all I do care is you take action. But if you want to do it with us, my strong recommendation is do something. Tonight, when you go to bed, you'll be like, I did something, like I'm on the train. Okay, I'm not thinking about it. I'm not hypothesizing about it. I'm not, analysis paralysis about it. I've done it. It's done. And so whether you want to start at the VIP level, $47, literally, it's you probably spend more on coffee per month. Or you want to choose the starter pack, where literally we're making it easy for you. It's like private banking, skipping the queue. It's like priority getting on a plane to literally start investing, to make it, to get going on the Wealth Migrate platform. Or Wealth Going Global. You want access to the right information, like Abdul. Whether you're beginner or highly sophisticated, you want to get the knowledge of how to go global, Wealth Going Global. Or you say, no, I want to know from all the partners. I want to know the best assets, the best partners. I want to understand the opportunities. I want to understand the risks and opportunities. Then you've got asset mastery. And finally, you want to go right to the top of the tree. I'm the type of guy who just wants to go straight to the top. And you want to be part of the Calio team and the family office and everything in between. And by the way, the higher up the ladder you go, you get everything below the ladder. So you don't have to, you only look up, you don't have to look backwards. And then finally, you're still sitting there and you're slightly confused. And, because of my brilliant partner, Alex, he was like, dude, like some people don't know what to do. They don't know which level to go. And we were like, okay, cool. Let's give them their Chifu. Let's give them their Wealth Pathfinder. Let's give them coaching and accountability and direction. And let's literally take them up the ladder. And hopefully you can see the little green box climbing up the ladder. And, I've got no doubt in my mind, we've made it as affordable as we possibly can over the next 4 months. I honestly don't know how you could start 2024 better if you're wanting to build passive income. I'm not aware of one system in the world that's going to bring it all together for you with the coaching, the accountability, the information, the knowledge, the access to deals. Like by February, I want to be clear. I want you to be earning passive income. Not thinking about it, not learning about it, not even doing it, but actually achieving the result. So imagine your year from now. Imagine we're getting to the tail end of 2024 and using that concept of learning a skill. Imagine if every month or every couple of months you were working on the countries, the currencies, the assets, the partners, the time and time management, the mindset and strategic thinking, the execution and the accountability, the investing and the review. What would your year look like at the end of 2024 or 12 months from now if you'd literally done that consistently? Repetition, the mother of skill, over the next 12 months. Tell me, what do you think? I'm going to have a sip of water. No one wants to tell me. You're too scared about thinking what next year will feel like. Well, I can tell you from my own experience, having done it with Tony Robbins, is that I made that commitment. I'd been the bloody dabbler and the stressor, probably more of the stressor than the dabbler, but I made that commitment to mastery, and my life has geometrically shifted. And it shifted in a year, by the way. It was incredible how quickly it changed. And then from there, it just went up. So, I'd love to know, just tell me if you feel like that it could help you as well in terms of that process. And Glenda, thanks for typing that. I thought it was just me on my own. I thought everyone had gone. So let's finish off and bring it all together. I'll jump in the VIP room for everyone to answer any final questions and bring it all together for you. I'll remind you of the formula. It's about creating globally diversified passive income. How do you do it? You diversify across countries, currencies, assets, partners, and time. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Whether you want to do it with us or do it with someone else, you know, the world is your oyster. Whether you want to do it on your own as a dabbler or stressor, you want to do it through partnership, that's your choice. But I want to finish with the wise words of a great man, Nelson Mandela, when he said, money won't create success. The freedom to make it will. And I've got a short little video for you.
I have walked a long walk to freedom. It has been a lonely road, and it is not over yet.
Ladies and gentlemen, building globally diversified passive income, getting wealth protection, getting plan B, getting a peace of mind, and having the freedom of choice. It's a lonely road. Very, very few people are prepared to walk into this dangerous jungle. It's a journey. And our invitation for you is you can walk that journey alone, or you can come with us. We're going on the journey with or without you, but we'd love to invite you on that journey. Our hand is extended and we're saying, come along, let us help you. What we ask for in response, if you've enjoyed the last couple of days, I really, really would appreciate if you give us a testimonial. You know, we've tried as best as we can to give everything we've got, to give as much energy as we can, as much knowledge and everything in between. It's always tough in the time constraints. But yeah, if you want to write one, go to Trustpilot. If you want to do a video, please do. And I've actually made a quick little video just to teach people how to do a video. We actually use a little piece of software. It's super easy. We would really appreciate that in return. And by the way, if you enjoyed it, like, tell your friends. You know, our next challenge will be in February. So tell your friends to sign up. We'll get it live so that everyone can. So the final words that I have for today, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Ladies and gentlemen, there are my details. As I always say to people, rather WhatsApp me than email me. I'm not very good on email. My final thing, thank you for your time. You've committed 5 days of your life. Our most valuable asset is our time. And I deeply, deeply appreciate the gift you've given me of sharing my passion, my experience, and my knowledge with you over the last 5 days. I appreciate you allowing me to bring in the various partners from around the world that I truly am so grateful to be in business with. And finally, I wanted to say thank you to Shane and to Alex and to the rest of the team that behind the scenes, they're the unsung heroes. Without them, none of this would have taken place. So thank you to all of you as well. But that's it. That's from me. Challenge is over. I look forward to seeing your results. It's been a wonderful experience. I've loved it. I look forward to seeing you all doing what you're meant to do in life. Go make sure you live a life unlimited. Thank you for all the incredibly kind comments. And I will jump now to the Zoom room, the VIP room, to answer any questions that anyone have. Ladies and gentlemen, have an incredible day. And the last thing is, go Boca.